Now, in its latest update on the fight against illegal mining, government says it is currently prosecuting 5 different cases involving persons found to be engaged in the illicit trade. Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah noted the 5 cases include one involving some persons who claim to be national security operatives who were arrested in the Kede forest engaged in illegal mining, and another involving some Chinese illegal miners and their Ghanaian accomplices. According to the Information Minister, the cases are at different levels in court, with some of the arrested persons on remand.
The first is the Republic versus George Asante and 31 others. These are the persons who initially, the reports that came out were that some national security people have been arrested doing mining elsewhere. It turns out they are not national security persons. The accused persons on the 11th of May 2021 were arraigned before the Koforidua Circuit Court B on provisional charges, namely 2 counts of conspiracy to commit crime, that's reconnaissance for minerals, and reconnaissance for minerals without lawful authority. The accused persons were arrested by the town folk themselves, as you remember. They had dug deep, hundreds of meters into the ground, and they were actually conducting some mining activities there without lawful authority. They were remanded into police custody for further investigations. The case has been adjourned to the 8th of June 2021, with the accused persons still in custody. In the meantime, the CID has taken over the investigations. They visited the crime scene at Akinting. Sand and some substances suspected to be gold were found and seized. The substances have been sent to the PMMC for testing, and the other state investigative authorities are assisting them while the prosecution ongoes. So that is the case of George Asante and 31 others, the Republic versus George Asante and 31 others. There's the Republic versus Yang Mauji. Arrest was made on the 15th of May by the Operation Halt team. Investigations are also ongoing to locate some suspected accomplices, Yang Kesi and one Nana Fianko, and prosecutions will be in accordance. There's a Republic versus Wei Ganming and another. This case involves a Chinese national arrested from Atioku in the Memphis West near Takwa. The 2 Chinese nationals were arraigned before an Accra Circuit Court for the offense of mining without authority or without license. They've been remanded to appear on the 2nd of June 2021. I think that's today. So they'll be appearing in court today after initially being remanded. The matter has been assigned to the CID. Bail has initially been denied the accused persons, and further investigations continue, and prosecution will also continue in accordance. There's also the Republic versus Yang Hua and 2 others. In this case, 2 Chinese nationals and a Ghanaian who were illegally mining were arrested from Inchi in the western region. They were arraigned before the Circuit Court in Accra on the 12th of May 2021 for the offense of mining without license.
Minister for Defense Dominic Nitu will also announce that 592 items, including 24 excavators, 341 chamfan machines, as well as 123 water pumping machines, were seized and destroyed in the 2nd phase of Operation Halt. He also gave an update on the over 400 personnel drawn from the armed forces deployed to areas around the river Ankobra in the western region to stop illegal miners from polluting the river.
It was observed that some illegal miners had moved their mining equipment, particularly excavators, to just nearby communities. So you are passing and you can see huge excavators standing in communities. But they've moved them out of the 100-meter zone. But you can see that this is a little community, and then you have 10, 20 excavators standing there. You know that they were using to do illegal things. But because it's not within the 100 meters, you cannot destroy them. So the armed forces will pass and move on. We need to take a decision about some of these things as a government and as a people. So like I said, that some illegal miners had moved their mining equipment, particularly excavators, to nearby communities that were out of the speculated 100-meter limit of operational activity for major river bodies. For instance, there's a community called Esua. Troops chanced upon 11 excavators that have been moved 2 kilometers away from the illegal mining site. along the river and Cobra, with the possibility, of course, of illegal miners, they redeploying the equipment at an opportune time. So that's what happened. You go and see these excavators standing there. They had just moved them. They could clearly see that they had destroyed the river bodies. But what they did is to move them off from there. We will take a decision on this equipment. We will take a decision very, very soon on them, because we know they will want to go back. But because we set 100 meters, they have decided that, okay, we're going to move them to 2 kilometers away, 1 kilometer away. But we will take a decision on them very, very soon. Like I said, it's in their interest not to go back. But if you decide to park your excavators there and they have no use, we will take a decision on them as a government.
The Defense Minister also explained that some excavators were seen in communities close to water bodies, and a decision will be taken soon on destroying such excavators.
It was observed that some illegal miners had moved their mining equipment, particularly excavators, to just nearby communities. So you are passing and you can see huge excavators standing in communities. But they've moved them out of the 100-meter zone. But you can see that this is a little community, and then you have 10, 20 excavators standing there. You know that they were using to do illegal things. But because it's not within the 100 meters, you cannot destroy them. So the armed forces will pass and move on. We need to take a decision about some of these things as a government.
Now, in a related development, or in another development, Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu is demanding a probe into government's handling of the Galamsey fight, alleging an official at the presidency is currently under arrest for his involvement in the illicit activity. According to him, a gentleman called Damwa was arrested at the presidency a few days ago for his involvement in the illegal activity, but adds that there is an attempt to cover up the case. He, however, vows the minority will not allow that. So Idrisu again accused the president of acting illegally with the burning of excavators.
Demand some other probe into the handling of this Galamsey thing. You know, Leader Chimesa is very brilliant. You saw his answer on the floor of Parliament. He said demobilize. So I didn't find immediate responses to him. I'm now looking for what to do with demobilizing. So when you hear President Akufo-Addo say that go to court, ex-ante judicial powers are not vested in the president. You don't breach human rights and tell the person that go and recover their right in court. That's not the proper way to exercise executive authority. And therefore, the president is accordingly reminded that his powers and the constitutions are subject to the laws of Ghana, subject to the constitution of Ghana, and subject to he respecting the fundamental rights and freedoms of Ghanaians, including the right of any Ghanaian to own an excavator. It's a right. Maybe you people haven't even explored it further. It's a right to ownership, to own an excavator. And I'm not aware of any law in Ghana which permits burning of excavators. If you cannot identify the person driving it, go to the port who brought it in. And probably to improve it, we should now add that any person clearing an excavator must sign an undertaking that it will not be used for purposes of illegal mining. Then when he is in breach of it, or you come to Parliament for us to give you the mandate to ban excavators. But as at this morning, we have not clothed any president of Ghana with powers to ban excavators. I find that an exercise in excess of the president's power. And he is not above the law, he is not above the constitution of Ghana. He is to fight Galamsey. And we are at the aim with him in fighting the menace because it does have major implications on the environment, particularly on our water body. He also must be interested in finding out who licensed them, who gave those licenses, when were they given. So we are demanding greater transparency, even in the president's quest to fight Galamsey. We are demanding more transparency. I hear a gentleman was picked up here some few days ago at Flagstaff House, the one Damwa. We are following the case closely, and nobody should make an attempt to cover up what his doings have been relative to his engagement or involvement in Galamsey. You know what I'm talking about. So he was picked up by national security. They are trying to cover up. We are following very closely. So you see, The president is fighting his own men. The illegal galamsey people, we are beginning to know them, who they are. And they are all acting on the breath and strength that our government is in power and our government is ruling. Let him deal decisively with them. And he has our full support in doing it, but not supporting him in saying that go to court after excavators have been burned.
The leaders in Parliament have been addressing a media briefing on planned activities for this meeting of Parliament. Majority Leader Osache Mensah-Bonsu, however, says he has no concerns with the burning of excavators.
People chancing on excavators and resorting to burning them, and he says there is no law that allows for that. The law provides that if an operator using an excavator illegally is chanced upon, that person must be arrested. But where you have situations as is happening now, where you go to a river body where the excavator is not supposed to be there in the first place, and the person who is operating it, upon hearing that you are advancing, vanishes and then removes the vital part. If you want to remove it, you can't remove it. What do? As I said to Parliament, you further demobilize. You further demobilize. So I have no qualms in my mind. Look, what is an excavator supposed to be used for? Dredging in the construction of roads. But in the construction of roads, the excavator as an equipment is the least used equipment. For what? One is just for the excavation of drains. And if they have to build bridges, use it to excavate to dredge the stream before they construct the bridges. That's what they use them for. How can you have in this country excavators now numbering over 5,000? What are they using them for? Last week, on my way to Kumasi, at Asaman Tamfoye, the community before, that is from Accra, before Enyinem. When we got there, we saw an excavator on a low loader that was branching off into one village, and the whole population in the village had come out and were shouting, "Walk on here, walk on here." What are they doing? I want to know what they are doing with it. Today, streams feeding rivers have been diverted and hugely polluted